Please welcome up the one, the only, the tall man, Bruce Marcus.
Isn't that another word for a finger?
Hello everybody, it's a beautiful day here at the Cambridge River Festival. And I want to say that until I was invited to come here to tell Haitian stories here, I did not know any Haitian stories. And I've been dipping into the well of Haitian stories over the past week or two, and I must say that I like what I see. And I like what I've learned about the storytelling culture in Haiti. And if your family, Sebastian, is any indication, you have the children involved, and everybody gets up and tells stories, and it's a very wonderful thing. I like what I see. When I was invited to tell Haitian stories here, I thought, well, I don't tell any Haitian folk tales, but I remember what my friend, the late Brother Blue, for whom this festival is dedicated to today, once said. He said, when somebody invites you to tell stories, say yes. And then pray for inspiration. So that's what I did, but I also went to the library and I took out a wonderful book called The Magic Orange Tree.
Oh, yeah.
It's a collection of Haitian folk tales that was gathered by a storyteller named Diane Wolfstein. Diane Wolfstein back in the 1970s. And this is a story from that book. It's called The Name. Now, there once was a young girl who worked for an old woman. And the old woman would sit at the table when it was time to eat, and the old woman would say, "If you can tell me my name, I will give you something to eat." Well, the young girl was very silent and very hungry because she had no idea what the old woman's name was. She would work from the moment that she woke up in the morning till the time that she lay down to go to sleep at night, and she was never given a thing to eat or to drink. Well, one day, the old woman bought a large turkey and she killed it. And she cut it open and she took the intestines and gave it to the young girl and told her, take these intestines and wash them in the river so that I can eat them. Well, the young girl did as she was told. She took the intestines down to the river, and as she stood there at the river's edge, there she ran into fish, shrimp, and eel. An eel looked up at her and said, "If you will give me something to eat, I will tell you the old woman's name." So, the young girl did. She broke off a piece of the intestines, fed them to eel, and what did eel do? Ate it up and disappeared into the water without a word. Next, the shrimp said, "If you will give me something to eat, I will tell you what the old woman's name is." So the girl tore off a piece of the turkey intestines, fed it to the shrimp. Shrimp went. It took a long time for a little shrimp to eat that big piece of intestine. And then he, too, disappeared into the water without a word. Next, the fish looked up and said, "If you'll give me something to eat from that, I'll tell you her name." So the girl tore off a piece of the intestines, fed it to the fish, and the fish went and disappeared, swam away into the water. Well, the young girl was left with only a tiny piece left, a piece maybe as big as my little finger. And she said, "What am I to do now? What will I say to the old woman when I get back to the house and this is all I have left? And they never told me her name. Oh, what am I going to do?" When all of a sudden, Crab popped his little head out of the sand and looked over and said, "I will tell you her name if you will give me that to eat." What did the young girl have to lose at this point? So she handed Crab a little piece of fish. Crab ate it up. Actually, he ate it a little more slowly. Crab was kind of a slow eater. He kind of picked it apart. It's more the way he eats. Is that how you eat? Is that what you sound like when you eat? Yeah, me too. I'm kind of the people at the next table get up and they dance when I eat. Well, Crab finally finished. He looked up and he said, "And now I will tell you her name." The girl listened. Yes, what is it? What is the name? Crab said, "Her name is," are you ready for this?
Yeah?
"In a storm, coffin on her back." The girl said, "In a storm, coffin on her back." Now, I don't know about you, but I'm really glad my parents didn't name me that. I can't imagine how much I would have been teased in school over that one. Well, the young girl was prepared now. She went back into the crab told her one thing. He said, when you go back to the house, wait until the old woman is seated at the table, and then when she asks you, you tell her. But you don't have to tell her who told you. I don't want her to come. She'll look for me. She'll probably kill me. So the girl said, I will do as you say. She went back to the house, walked in, and the old woman was already seated at the table. She had her beans and her corn in front of her, her hot sauce there on the side. And the girl walked up to her and she said, I know your name. Who told you my name? The old woman said. I know your name, the girl said. Tell me that. And the young girl did. She said, in a storm, coffin on your back. The old woman was so angry. Oh! She got up and she took her machete off the wall and she went down to the river and she stood there at the edge and she said, who told her my name? Well, she saw the animals there in the water and she said, Eel, did you tell her my name? And Eel said, no, old woman, it wasn't me. Shrimp, did you tell her my name? No, old woman, it wasn't me. Fish, did you tell her my name? And Fish said, no, I didn't tell her your name. Who told her my name? And the old woman began to step out into the river. She walked out until the water was up to her ankles. She walked out a little farther, and then she stepped on something which scuttled from under her foot. And there she saw Crab. She said, Crab, did you tell her my name? And Crab said, yes, old woman. He told her, backing away, yes, I did. And the old woman walked after her. She said, you told her my name? And Crab said, yes, old woman, I did. Yes, yes, it was me, backing out more and more. Now the water was up to the old woman's waist. And as she raised her machete, she slipped on a rock and fell and struck the bottom of the river. And she did not get up. Yes, old woman, the Crab said, it is me. And Crab ate the old woman, name and all.
Oh, yeah.
The name.
Woo! What's in a name?